The command press. Hat is up, everyone. We are breaking down the Patriots-Jets single-game showdown and walking through who we are playing and why, using dash rank, matchup context, and ownership to build a smart core. We are starting at the top with Drake May as our priority captain. He carries a dash rank of 100 and projects for 22 points against the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 24. He is coming in around 53% owned, so the field is on it, and we agree because the recent form is steady at 19, 18, and 27 fantasy points in his last three. The narrative backs the numbers too. Essentially, sports highlighted May in their Week 11 QB start-sit piece, and multiple outlets have pointed out that New England's rise is tied to Mike Vrabel's leadership and May's strong play. We want the highest median and ceiling combo on the slate at captain, and that is May. We like pairing May with Stephon Diggs. Diggs projects for 14 points and is roughly 38% owned, and he gets the same opponent rank boost against the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall. His last 3 of 16, 13, and 10 show a solid floor, and the on-field chemistry is there. There was a piece this week noting Diggs' highlight grab on a May deep ball before halftime, which reinforces why we want this stack for correlation. We are also in on Hunter Henry as a mid-tier attachment to May stacks. He projects for 10 points with about 33% ownership and benefits from the favorable opponent rank of 24. The target profile has been steady enough with recent outputs of 2, 9, and 8, and tight ends often come through on one red zone look in showdowns. Henry gives us a cheaper way to keep correlation without overpaying for every Patriot pass catcher. We will mix in Mac Hollins as a leverage WR. He is projected for 8 points at about 14% ownership, and also faces the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall. The recent range of 20, 3, and 16 fits what we want from a tournament secondary piece tied to May. Volatile, but with splash play upside at modest ownership. At running back, Treveyon Henderson profiles as a ceiling play. He projects for 13 points at roughly 28% ownership against the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall. He just popped for 31 after 13 and 7. And that spike reminds us of the path to optimal in a single-game format. There has been chatter that New England could consider adding a running back, which would matter long-term, but on this slate, we still want exposure to his current touch upside tied to a favored game environment. On the other side, Breece Hall is our primary Jets bring back. He projects for 13 points at about 34% ownership against New England, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 10. His recent 20, 36, and 7 show elite ceiling when game script cooperates. Despite trade deadline rumors, reporting said the Jets kept Hall, which stabilizes his role. If we captain May, we like Hall as the most likely Jets player to keep pace and capture past game work. Quarterback for the Jets is where we are cautious. Justin Fields projects for 15 with around 50% ownership against a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. The weekly starter ambiguity has been real, as noted by coverage of the Jets hiding their starting QB in practice and benching episodes. There were also reports earlier that Tyrod Taylor could start, and he is listed just 1% owned with a tiny 2-point projection. Our plan is simple. If Fields is confirmed in, we limit exposure because of volatility with recent 8, 21, and 4. If Taylor is confirmed in, we will add some Taylor at low ownership purely for leverage, but we are not forcing it without news confirmation. We are comfortable playing Andy Borregales for New England at kicker. He projects for 9 points at roughly 38% ownership, and kickers fit well when we expect sustained drives against the Jets, who have one of the worst defenses overall. There was a recent piece on Borregales winning the starting job, and the game logs of 13, 6, and 4 show a path to double digits if red zone trips stall. We will also sprinkle Nick Folk on Jets builds. He projects for 6 points at about 17% ownership, with recent outputs of 9, 12, and 7. If New England's defense tightens in the red zone, Folk gives us correlation with hole-centered lineups that assume stalled drives. Defense is a leverage spot. We prefer the Patriots' defense at low ownership around 9%. The Jets' quarterback situation is unsettled, and that uncertainty can create sacks and mistakes, which is exactly the profile we target in showdowns. The recent 11 in their 3-ago sample shows the upside. We will be lighter on the Jets' defense and only include them in builds that fade May hard. For a deep punt, Jack Westover at 200 salary is a pure salary saver. He is projected for 1 point and around 4% owned. On slates where we captain May and jam a second Patriot stud plus Hall, a single catch from a punt can unlock the entire construction. We only use this in lineups betting on multiple high-priced hits. Putting it together, our preferred captain pool is Drake May first, with Trevelyan Henderson and Stefan Diggs as secondary captain pivots. Our core flex group is Diggs, Henry, Hollins, Henderson, Borregales, and Breece Hall as the primary bringback. We will react to Jets quarterback news in real time, trimming or adding exposure to Fields or Taylor accordingly, as multiple reports have highlighted the Jets' weekly QB uncertainty. The macro takeaway matches the news cycle that has praised May's current form and New England's rise. We want to be overweight on that story and use ownership and leverage pieces to stay different without getting cute. We would love to hear your favorite captain for this slate and how you are handling the Jets' quarterback situation. Good luck tonight